Last video was an update video for my Sega Saturn, which you can see sitting there, and the next logical way to go is the Nintendo 64 right here with my blue controller, as you can see there. So I've not got a massive collection of Nintendo 64 games, but I'm just going to go through them anyway. I'm not sure how many I've got. So first up, Automobile Lamborghini, pretty cool game. I remember back in the day it was probably the first game I ever heard of that had a manual clutch that you could use, so that was pretty cool, pretty nice little game. Mission Impossible, yeah, I can't really get into it. It's a bit of an odd one. Starts off and you kind of in this party and you're going around, I don't know, giving the pianist like some music to play, and I don't know, couldn't get into it. MRC, this was probably the first game I ever played on a Nintendo 64 back in the day. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a pretty decent game. So yeah, multi racing championship, different cars, off-road versus on-road, etc. Top Gear Overdrive, not really a fan of that one, a bit silly. International Superstar Soccer 98, not played that one at great length, but it's just a 3D ISS game. Lilac Wars, aka Star Fox 64, aka the sequel to Star Wing or Star Fox, depending on what region you're from. Awesome classic game, one of the must-haves for the N64. FIFA 98 was one of my favourite games back in the day on the PlayStation, so it's cool to have it on the N64. Zelda Ocarina of Time. So there's actually a few different versions of this cart. I've just noticed it's actually quite a bit heavier than all the other carts as well, so it must be pretty sizable. Yeah, I played a bit of it. I can't really get into it though. The problem with N64 games when I play them now is the fuzzy graphics. Killer Instinct Gold, in my opinion, it's not as good as the original Killer Instinct on the SNES, but you know, it's still playable. Partly some of it's to do with the controller not really suiting the old fighting game genre. Twisted Edge, snowboarding, can't really remember much about that. I don't think it's bad. Extreme G, ridiculously fast racing game. If you think Wipeout's fast, then think again and play this. F1 World Grand Prix 2, just Formula 1, not great Formula 1 at that. Fighters Destiny, this is a really cool game, I think. It uses a points system for scoring rather than you know, having a life bar, so plenty of like fighting styles and stuff in it, so awesome game. If you're a fan of fighting games and you want something a bit different, then it's definitely worth checking out. Have I picked that up twice, or have I got two? Oh, I've got two copies of it somehow. Don't know how that's happened. Never really noticed that before, if I'm being honest. So Ridge Racer 64, kind of like Ridge Racer 4 on the PlayStation, but with elements of the first three games thrown in as well. Bust-A-Move Arcade Edition 2, or Bust-A-Move 2 Arcade Edition, classic puzzle game, not really much to say on that. 1080 Snowboarding, awesome snowboarding game, but can be quite hard to get into. Wave Race 64, another must-have title for the system, just a classic racing game. Graphics still look pretty cool. Today has not really been much like it ever released again. And finally, Doom 64, bit of a kind of weird Doom game. It's not bad, I like it, but it's not quite as good as the original Doom, Final Doom, Doom 2, all them games. But it's good for Doom fans. So that's just a quick overview of my Nintendo 64 collection. I'll probably be adding to it at some point, but like I say, primarily I'm collecting for the Saturn and the Mega Drive. But it's an awesome console, and you should definitely have some Nintendo 64 in your life.